Well, I was very straightforward with everybody and said we had goals and I want to manage the outcome. And um, 50 games came and went, the ability to win, and said we want to make the playoffs. And we were eliminated last Thursday or Friday morning, but the team was still on the road. And I thought it was appropriate to do what I'm doing now, to have a one-on-one with Ernie and then come and talk to Scott, talk to Tommy, and try to talk to every single employee. And this was the timing, if you will. And so that's why today. Well, he didn't work for me for 16 years. And each year that he worked for me, we sat down and said, what are our expectations? What are our goals? And we're very, very thoughtful and mindful and spend a lot of time on what the goals should be. And we set that up this year and we didn't meet them. And so that's what happened this year. No one made this decision other than me, and that was between me and Ernie as to what was acceptable for us to do this year. It wasn't being cavalier and saying that to those that who much is given, much is expected. We're in a beautiful new building, and we made big investments, and we all thought we could win 50 games and improve upon last year's performance, and we didn't. So I literally just got off the phone with both Brad and John and told them what had happened, what we were doing. And they processed and said thank you. But this all is happening in real time, so no one's really had the time to figure out what to do and say. Well, right now, all I've done is remove Ernie from the day-to-day. I've asked Tommy to take all the direct reports that were going to Ernie, and he'll report to me. I've spent one-on-one time with Scott just to tell him I expect us to work hard and play hard and continue to give the fans their money's worth. I think it's very, very important that we continue to play in a very professional, competitive way. And when you believe in hierarchy, it's not like I have meetings with the coach and all the staff. Today's the first time I've spent any time listening to some of the folks. And what I want to do over the next 3 weeks is really give people the opportunity to tell me what's working, what's not, what do I have to do to improve. And this now gives people permission to speak with me, and I can break that hierarchy. And so I look forward to that. I haven't made any opinions on what we're going to do on the go forward. I'm going to be in total learn what's happening mode. I mean, we're very cognizant of the calendar and, you know, what will happen with the lottery and what will happen with free agency and what will happen with the draft. But right now, my main goal is to, as fast as I can, bring in an outside firm to provide some services for us. I want to do what's called best practicing. What do the best organizations look like? What do they spend? Maybe I made mistakes in the way we spent and invested our money. I have to be open-minded. And, while Ernie got the news today, I take responsibility. I really do think that that if you're a grown-up leader, that you have to do this. It's not fun. But we failed and I failed. And so I don't want to fail. I want to do what's right. And I do believe in the collective wisdom of the people that Ernie brought in. We have really, really good staff. I just wasn't able to speak to them freely because everything rolled up to Ernie, as it should be. I mean, if I was going around them, you'd have bedlam. You can't have that kind of information flow. So I have to take advantage of this time right now to be here and learn and talk to people. I'll be honest, I haven't really sequenced that far yet. I think the most important thing right now is for me to listen so that I know what skills we have in the organization, and the outside firm will help me do the the modeling, if you will, on here's where you have really, really great skill, here's where you're weak, and that will drive some of the job description, if you will. One thing I will say, I think this is the best job in sports. I don't think we're going to have any issues in attracting really, really great people. And I also want to say that Tommy Shepard is a candidate. Tommy was the first person I met with. And I reminded Tommy of what happened with the Capitals, that our number 2 to the GM, who wasn't a known commodity, wasn't a front runner. He had the best interview, and the reason he had the best interview is the most prepared, and he knew all of the good things and all of the not good things. And so I've told Tommy it's not lip service. You're highly regarded, and there's other teams that want to talk to Tommy, and that when the time comes, we will interview Tommy for the top job. But I don't think we're going to have a problem with finding somebody who wants to come to Washington, D.C. in a brand new, wonderful building like this, and a great arena, and in an organization that shows that it'll spend what's necessary to try and win. Well, I wanted to win 50 wins just because I thought that's what our arc was. But making the playoffs is really the key thing. The Caps, a lot of people didn't think last year was going to be a special year, and said you got to make the playoffs. And once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. And so to me, really, the base level was we didn't make the playoffs. And everyone told me, even after the injuries, that we had enough. I'm also not blind, and I was disappointed that even before the injuries, I didn't like the way we were playing. So something isn't gelling, and I'm hoping that everyone has a lot of candor and trust and belief and can tell me what I should do and what we shouldn't be doing. And that's what I want to do over the next 3 weeks. I don't. I never played in the NBA. I never have worked in an NBA front office. My belief is not changed since I bought the teams. I think owners should set strategy and vision and provide the infrastructure and respond to what the organization says it needs. And you need to spend the money. And so I think I've done that, and I want to continue to do that. But it didn't work here, and so it's a shame. Maybe the vision was wrong. Maybe the strategy was wrong. Maybe the infrastructure is wrong. I mean, I want to find out what it is. And the best way to do that is to do the work and have people be straightforward and candid with you. And I want to hear a lot of voices. And, the way we operate, I would meet with Ernie. And, on rare occasions with the Caps, I would meet with Nick Backstrom and Alex Ovechkin just to find out what's going on. I mean, I did speak with John Wall and Bradley Beal. Those were the 2 players who I spoke to, but it's not like I'm hanging out with the players or talking to people in the organization. Now I'm looking forward to it, but once we decide what the right strategy on the go forward is and we restaff, we reorganize, I want to go back to being an owner, not being that active in the day-to-day operations. I don't know. I mean, I'm open-minded. I just have to see what needs tending, what needs, have we over-indexed in some place? Have we not invested enough? Do we have a systemic issue? Or, I did see some stats the other day. We have lost a lot of man games. I think of our starting 5, we have the most man games missed of a starting 5, last in the league, 30 out of 30. But culturally, we said no excuses. We've got enough. And so if you say that's what your strategy is, that's what your strategy has to be. And so I can't use injuries as an excuse, but you look around the league, there's a lot of injuries. And so, I want to learn more about that. Is there something we're not doing right? It's not like I talk to the doctors and the staff and the trainers. I mean, this gives me an opportunity to do that. I'm hitting a reboot. I want to figure out together what the right strategy is, and that would be way premature to say, here's what our strategy should be on the go forward. We're in deep exploration. The organization also needs to heal right now. This was a tough day for us. Ernie's been with the organization for 16 years. Most of the people that are here, he hired. And he has worked as a GM for 30 years. He's a gifted, talented guy. We met, and it was very straightforward, very professional. And it's as positive of a parting as can be, if you will. And that's how I want us to be. I want organizationally that we're first class and we take the high road in everything that we do, and we're supportive of one another. And I'm grateful for what Ernie did here over the years. As I said, I only have worked with him for these past 7 seasons, but I'm very fond of him. He's been very straightforward, and it's not fun when you have to fire somebody. No idea on how long it's going to take and what I'm going to find. So I hope that you'll all give us a little bit of, I know you all want to be in like the interview rooms and listening to everyone. We're transparent. We're not going to be that transparent. And, I do have experience in doing this with the Caps, and it worked out well. And I think it's important to do it in the right way and allow people the courtesy to speak their mind and to interview. And I'm hopeful that I can do it in a way that they're not grandstanding. The people aren't. You're not greeting them as they come in the interview. But I'm right now. We have decided on Scott's status. He's the coach of the team, and Tommy is doing what he was doing, reporting to me, and will do all of this work over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then we'll see what we hire, who we hire, how we bring that person in and onboard them. But there's no other changes to discuss. I'm going to let Tommy, I just talked to Tommy. I just talked to the coach. It's still new. And so I'm sure Tommy will come to me and say, can I make some suggestions? Can I make a recommendation? And now I get to speak to him directly as well as the coach. I think lashing out is too harsh of a comment. It shows me that they care. And I think that my first message is that I apologize for not meeting their expectations. You've got to be honest with yourself. I joked a little bit today that I said 50 wins, not 50 losses. And it's probably the biggest miss I've had in terms of setting goals and what the actuality will be. And so I apologize, but I do think that the fan base knows our sincerity in doing what's necessary. I couldn't spend much more money, couldn't have worked harder to open this, couldn't have made the investments in analytics that we've been making. Couldn't do much more. At least that's what I thought. So now we'll do the work, and hopefully I'll be enlightened that, well, you did too much of this and not enough of that. And so I'm self-actualized to know that I don't have all the answers and that I should be humble because we didn't do well. And, well, I don't think I said there was a mistake in spending. I said we've made all of the investments that we can. We entered the year with the 4th highest payroll in the league, and we could end up with the 4th worst record in the league. So there's a misalignment there, and that all contributed here to, did we do the right thing? We're always told that the best teams make those investments. If you just look, and it didn't work for us. And now we have a lot of players who are making a lot of money, missing a lot of games. And I can't overcome that, and I am pleased with the development of some of our younger players. It gave them that opportunity. But right now, I'm looking at it as we're at starting a process. I can't answer questions as if I know where the process is going to end. I think if I did that, that would be harmful to what we have to do, right? If you say to your employees, tell me the truth, tell me everything in an unabashed, straightforward way so that I can learn, but here's the answer that I want, I don't think that makes for a good process. So I've asked everyone, be candid, tell me what we have to do, and obviously I have to be the editor. I have to cull through all of that input, and then time will tell whether we processed that information and made the right decision. No one thinks we're shy about spending money. No one thinks we're shy about making investments. No one thinks we're shy about trying to innovate. We just had a big issue this year and saying we thought we could win 50 games and we might lose 50 games.